Hello guys, how you doing? It's Josh here from Profits Daily Club, where we help you turn your passion into profit. I hope you've been making some profits with our bet tips. Please send a comment down below this video and share your testimonials with us. Right now, I would like to share with you on how to get higher odds in betting market. My last video on this, I shared how you can play the 0.5 goal during a live bet and actually get very good odds while a game is going on for just a single goal. Well, today's tip actually has to do with when is the best time to bet for higher odds. And to answer that question, I actually have two answers. The first is that the really best time to get higher odds for any game at all is days before that particular game. So let's say, for example, a game will be played on Sunday or Saturday, this weekend, today being Friday. You can actually bet today, right? Because you see, if you've noticed, as the time for the game approaches, the odds reduces. So if you really want to get high odds on any game you want to bet on, I'll advise you to bet at least a couple of days before that particular game is scheduled to start. I know that for most people, putting down money ahead of a game might be an issue because it's like tying down your money. But look at it as a kind of investment as well, because if you tie it down for a higher odd, then definitely it's better, that way. So let's take, for example, as a case study, the second leg of Champions League games for next week, Tuesday and Wednesday. As you can see on the screen, Man City versus Borussia Mönchengladbach. These are the odds, which you can see for yourself. For Real Madrid and Atlanta, these are also the odds. If we move up to the next games, we have Bayern Munich and Lazio. These are the odds. And for Chelsea and Atletico Madrid, these are also the odds. Now, guys, let's make a bet. Come back to this video next week Tuesday and next week Wednesday. Compare the odds that you are seeing right now on the screen with what you are going to be seeing on that day, and tell me, just comment below this video, tell me if the odds would not have dropped by that very day that you check the games. Well, I would like you to also see a particular bet which I'm going to book ahead myself, and that is in this particular game. As you know, Bayern won in this game 4-1 on the first leg, and this time around they are going to be playing at home. So I know for a fact that Bayern is going to win because they will be playing at home. There's definitely hardly anything that Lazio is going to do. So if you know you are ready to put some money aside, say $50 or more, just play either Bayern straight win right now, like as in it's still like 5 days to the game. So playing ahead will give you up to 1.3 plus. I would not be surprised if on that Wednesday the odds will be as low as 1.2 or 1.18. You just bet and watch. But the game I'm interested in, the bet I'm actually interested in, is Bayern score 2 goals, which, as we know, is Bayern score over 1.5 goals. So um, right now, today being the 12th of March, and the game is still 5 days away, you can see for Team 1 total, that's Bayern total, over 1.5 goals is actually at 1.36 odds. Like I said before, I can guarantee you that this odd is going to drop before that day. So that's the first way to get higher odds in any game that you want to bet on. Bet way ahead of that game, even as let's say, like, even if it's a day before or hours before. If a game is going to take place this evening, for example, Borussia Mönchengladbach will be playing Augsburg at home, and this is still 12:30. The game is 8:30 this evening. So you still have about 8 hours before that game, and sometimes the odds are still a bit higher, at least on the same day, but hours before the game, right? So you can still play on the same day as well, but make sure you play well on time so that you can get better odds. You see, because once it starts getting closer to 8 p.m., 8:30, and the game starts, then the odds will drop. And that takes me to the second way through which you can get higher odds on, games you want to bet on. And that is by betting in the live game. That is when the game has actually started. You see, because if you miss playing, ahead, of that game. Look at the odds now: 1.9 for Mönchengladbach and 4.18 for Augsburg. By 8:30 this evening, feel free to check it out yourself on 1xBet and see what the odds will be just before the game starts. So, if you miss it before the game starts, another way to get higher odds is by playing the game in play. That is when the game has started. How do you get higher odds when the game has started? So let's say you wanted to play Borussia Mönchengladbach to win, just for a case study. So right now it's about 12:30. The game starts 8:30. If you play now, you get it at 1.9 plus. But if you miss playing it before the game starts, you can wait up to 5, 10, 15 minutes or more when the game has started. You see, usually if a game starts and there are no goals early enough, the odds for the teams to win rises, while the odds for draw, you know, drops, because the longer the game goes on, the bookies look at it as if, oh, it could end up being a draw. So the draw bet would drop, which is at 3.9 right now. Meanwhile, the odds for either of the teams to win will now steadily rise. So if you miss playing the game ahead, you could just play like doing the live bet and get it at any odd of your choice. You see, you can even play multiple times if you are sure. Let's say now we've said that Bayern Munich will win Lazio. Okay, so we don't want to play it now because we feel, oh, 1.36, yes, it's good, but maybe it's a bit low. What about if Bayern doesn't score on time? Maybe we can get it as high as 1.5 odds. Do you get my point? Because let's say Bayern decides to just play around with the ball and there's no goal in first half. You know that can happen. So there's no goal in first half. I can assure you that if that were the case, Bayern to win can go up as high as 1.4 to 1.5, even more, depending on how long it takes before a goal gets into the game. And another thing about live bets is, if the underdog scores first, right? Let's say Augsburg in this case, or Lazio in the other case, scores first, you will find out that the odd for Bayern will now almost double, than what it was even while you were waiting for it. So let's say you were waiting for it and it was like 1.40, and then Lazio scores first. Don't be surprised that Bayern to win will now go up to about 1.8 to above 2 odds. So this is another trick in the live game. But you have to be really, really sure of the bet, that's for Bayern to still win that game before you can go for it. So this is actually a trick you can use in getting higher odds. Look at I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago. Athletic Madrid and Athletic Bilbao played. Athletic Bilbao scored first, but do you know that Athletic Madrid still won the game? But meanwhile, because Athletic Bilbao had scored first, the odds for Athletic Madrid went up above 2 odds. Do you see what I'm saying? And they still won. So these are ways of getting higher odds. I'm sure you understand by now, and it works on all markets in the game. That is either straight wins or even for goals. The longer it takes for a goal to be scored, the higher the odds start getting. Let's say you are usually playing 1.5 goals or 2.5 goals, the longer it takes. So if, like, for Lazio and Bayern, you can imagine that 1.5 goals is actually going to be, very low, even ahead of that very day. 1.5 goals will be very low because even the bookies expect Bayern to score. However, if the game starts on that day and there are no goals up to 20 minutes, I can guarantee you that this same odds of 1.115 you're saying for over 1.5 goals can get as high as 1.3 odds or more, depending on how soon a goal is scored. And it applies everywhere. I don't Even if it's both teams to score, you want to play and it's 1.75, the longer it takes for a goal to be scored, the higher this odds will get. However, on the other side, for both teams to score no will now be dropping. Do you get the point? So this is just a tip that I would like you guys to be aware of. If you like to, play live games and get higher odds, play higher odds. So you can actually wait for the odds to rise for your favorite team to win or for goals to be scored. The only disadvantage in live bet is the moment a goal is scored, especially let's say by the favorite team that you were trying to back, then there is no way you are going to get any more higher odds because um, their odds will automatically drop. If Bayern scores first, this 1.3 will just become like 1.10, and the only way it can still rise in the game is if the other side now scores again, making the game to be tied at a draw 1-1. So then the game will be balanced and the odds will now be balanced again. So you can now find a fair odd for Bayern to still win if you still want to go for it. So if you were waiting for the odds to rise and Bayern scores in 10 minutes and the odds will drop, you don't have to actually be discouraged. You could actually still wait and see what could happen in the game. But like I've said, the very, very best way is to just play the game days and hours before the actual kickoff. Thanks for watching. And so let's see you guys put this to practice. Bye.